Welcome back to college football. We are here in CFB 26 after skipping CFB 25 to take on the Dynasty with the UTEP Miners. This is something I had planned for CFB 25, and then I was really disappointed in the fact that the game did not have custom recruits amongst a lot of other things, frankly, that the game was missing from prior NCAA 14 even. I decided not to sit out this year as I really wanted to get back into the swing of college football, and we're taking over the UTEP Miners. I'll go ahead and show the settings I have here as I kind of describe how this series is going to go. Essentially, I'm no longer going to be doing one-game episodes. It's going to be 1, 2, 3 games, depending on situations. We're going to try to progress through the seasons a little more quickly, and I think we'll just kind of see how things are going, feel it out for a few seasons, and keep going from there. I will be making Madden my primary series once it comes out in August, I believe, mid-August. But for now, we'll be focusing on UTEP and College Football 26 as I am moving on from my Rockies franchise. To lead UTEP, Atari Mason will coach. He will be starting with the UTEP Air Raid. Will be running the 3-3-5 defense they had in the base game as well. Of course, Atari is from Utah State. His recruiting pipeline is Utah. We all know Atari Mason as the player that came to Olympia as a true freshman and knocked off teams like Arizona, Iowa, really North Carolina as well. I mean, he was clutch. And then he had a fall from grace at quarterback. Ended up getting benched, became a wide receiver, and then transferred to Utah State where he had a great season. And then he went to the pros to play for the Salt Lake City Flyers under Hollister MacIntyre. Now he's in Jacksonville, by the way. We might see that in an epilogue someday. But now he's coaching the UTEP Miners after his illustrious Madden career. And here is our schedule for year one. I think it's going to be decently tough until we get to conference play. This team's star player is Malachi Nelson, true sophomore out of Los Alamitos, California. Currently, he has a deal breaker with us, championship contender. He wants to play for a great team, elite development. That ain't gonna be UTEP, buddy. Dual threat quarterback, we might lose him after the season. Hasham Wilson, also this team's star player, 84 overall. And then Cam Thomas and Kenny Odom are our big two wide receivers that should get a lot of targets this year. We will be mostly running 3, 4, 5 wide sets, so I do expect to get a lot of wide receivers involved. And then we have a pretty unimpressive offensive and defensive line. Not a surprise, this UTEP team is 64 overall. I don't even see how they're 1.5 stars in this game. The linebacking core is decent, so we will be running a 3-3 as this team already had 3-3-5. And our secondary is decent as well compared to what is on our line. We really want to avoid using the line as much as possible for now. So UTEP has some star players and otherwise a pretty weak team. How about their school grades? Well, pretty much D on everything. Program tradition, brand exposure. I mean, you're not going to get a lot of NIL deals here. Stadium atmosphere isn't super high in El Paso. The campus lifestyle, actually one of the better parts about this, but academic prestige is low. Conference prestige is obviously terrible. What does that mean we can recruit? Well, we do have some 3 stars on the board, but it's a lot of 2 stars as well. I think to start this dynasty, we're going to look to see what we can do and maximize scouting of 2 stars. Can we get some 2-star players to come in that are better than their rating shows? That's really going to be the move. Well, what about Atari Mason's coaching abilities? Obviously, it's going to be passing game. The former QB has some ability to talk to QBs and wide receivers, I would say. Speaking of, we're going to be recruiting QB and wide receiver here heavily as we lose our 2 best wide receivers after this year. And I really do think we're going to lose Malachi Nelson unless we can somehow contend for a championship, which I just don't see happening in year 1. Here's the rest of the list on our recruiting board. It's not great. How about our coordinators? They're not great either. We have a really solid recruiter here. He is a specialist with quarterbacks, so we do have a good chance at landing some of these quarterbacks that I'm looking into. I think that's really helpful for us. And then Bobby Daly, master motivator here. Has some recruiting stats as well, though, where we can actually pull in these defensive linemen, linebackers. So not too bad on the recruiting front, considering Atari Mason's not a recruiter. It's going to be helpful to have recruiting coordinators who can take the majority of that workload. Let's go ahead and get our game underway as off we go here in Logan, Utah. Utah State This will be a one-game episode, but like I said, going forward, expect to see 2, maybe even 3, depending on how the episode goes. As out comes Malachi Nelson for the day, 76 overall, 86 speed, 92 throw power. This kid could be a pro prospect someday. First run is a yard for Hashan Wilson. And Nelson in the gun, going to drop back on 3rd and 10, and hits Cam Thomas for the first down. So I expect to see me focus my top 2 wide receivers here. As on this one, going to throw it out to Smith in the flats there. That is Jaden Smith, the wide receiver 3 in this offense. Now 3rd and 2, Hashan Wilson up the middle, and he'll get down to the 45-yard line. I have to say, I was a little nervous coming back into college football, how this would work for me. A lot has changed about the state of football since NCAA 14. The gameplay is a lot different as I take a 6-yard sack there. Finding Cam Thomas once again on the outside. One of the biggest differences is that there's not just a random chance to get injured anymore. Wear and tear makes it where if I'm focusing somebody down a lot, they will start to become worse in their ratings as we go for it on 4th and 2 and get stopped short of the first down. So I'm trying to finish this little spiel about wear and tear. I can't just focus my best player all season because he's going to get hurt a lot. He's going to lose ratings a lot. And Utah State fumbling it on their first play on offense, and it is picked up by the defense. So UTEP taking right back over. Malachi Nelson back in the gun. Throwing this one and missing his target there. Just a little over the head. And now 3rd and 9. Malachi Nelson. He does have some legs, but he's going to throw this one deep. And that is dropped. Hashan Wilson can't catch it down the field on the wheel route. And we have to punt it away. 1st and 5 for Utah State. And they're going to be cross midfield now at the 48-yard line. You're going to see a lot of zone blitzes from this UTEP team. As this one's thrown out into the flats. It'll be a 7-yard gain. Now 3rd and 2 at the 11 or the 40 rather. This one thrown out and really nice play there. That is Mike linebacker Stratton Schuffelt, and UTEP gets the ball back. Throwing this one on the screen pass out to Hashan Wilson on the outside. And we're going to see him involved a lot in the passing game in this air raid offense. Now finding Brown up the middle of the field, and that's a first down to the 42-yard line. Nelson looking very calm and composed so far. Stands in as he gets hit here. Finds Kenny Odom down to the 16 as he does fumble the ball there, but we do retain possession. Really nice throw by Nelson to just avoid the sack, absorb the pressure. Now Nelson using his legs, rolling out. Nelson going for the end zone, and he can't stretch the ball into the end zone. It's going to be at the 1-yard line running hurry up now. Nelson dropping back. This one's broken up, intended for Jaden Smith. 3rd and goal, and Nelson keeps it himself. He'll take the house call in, and Malachi Nelson scores the first touchdown of the season for the UTEP Miners, as he does, I'm not sure what dance that is. That's not the gritty. 1st and 10 now for Utah State, and this defensive line swarming there. Really nice gang tackle. It'll be 3rd down and 9. And standing tall in the pocket, finding his receiver. Utah State getting the first down there. It's Braden Barnes now. 1st and 10 at the 42. He's going to take off and run with this one, and that's an 8-yard run. Of course, when you're running some of these zone concepts, you don't have anybody over the hook line of the field there. It can be tough as this one stretched outside down to the 17-yard line there as Utah State eviscerating our run defense. Now 1st and goal. Handoff, no read option. Keeper for Barnes. He's in. Touchdown. And Utah State answers things back up here in Logan. It was pretty fun to see Utah State was on the schedule and take them on for my first game back. Ironically, I wanted to dodge the Mountain Time Zone and get out of, this area where my channel has entirely been so far, sports-wise. So I selected El Paso as this beautiful throw down the field. Kenny Odom. Malachi Nelson and Odom's already at 75 yards. Anyway, yeah, still in the Mountain Time Zone, I realized, as El Paso is in the Mountain Time Zone. Really cool. Cam Thomas now down to the 22 as we stay in this hurry up, and we're really putting Utah State on the back foot here. This one thrown over the middle for Judah Izinwa, and he cannot hang on. 3rd and 5 over the middle now. Cam Thomas down to the 5-yard line as it's now 1st and goal. But it's pretty fun to get to play Utah State once again. Of course, we can't play Olympia here, as this one's caught for a touchdown. Jaden Smith out of the slot. Little choice route there. Smith runs the right route. Perfect play so far from this offense. Handoff here, and that is the big Hog Malleys up front. Elijah Baldwin with the big play there. Now handoff up the middle. And down to the 34. It's going to be 1 yard short of the first down. Barnes in the gun. Handoff. Stopped short of a first down there. That's the Will linebacker, Udoka Iziani. Malachi Nelson back in the game now. Throwing this one out to Jaden Smith. Really great distribution between our top 3 wide receivers so far. Now the handoff, Hashan Wilson. That'll be about a 5-yard run as we hit the 2-minute warning, which is now in college football. Hard to remember that. 3rd and 5 now, throwing this one out. Cam Thomas can't hang on to it. Really good defense there. And we have to punt with 1:30 left. So Utah State definitely has time to make something happen here. And that's going to be a sack on the play. No chance of a throw downfield there as it's a 6-yard loss. Now 3rd and 11. Barnes dropping back, throwing this one short. Well covered there. Nice play. And we hang on to get the ball back with 43 seconds left, actually. Malachi Nelson delivering this one despite getting hit. That's Eziani there. Or Azinwood, rather. And now Nelson going to find Jaden Smith, but short of a first down on 4th and 5. And with 10 seconds left, Utah State has one more chance here. Cover 4 from the defense, and they find the hole in it. The zone discipline not there, and he takes it out of bounds. So Utah State walks away with a field goal and a 1-point deficit at half when they had a wide open touchdown. Or a 4-point deficit, rather. I don't know about the decision making there from the CPU. That seems worse than it would have been in NCAA 14. Anyway, pretty good half for UTEP. I thought we looked really, really solid. Now the keeper for Barnes, and he fumbles. And come on. I'm not going to keep dogging on this game. It's fun, but I'm still not overly impressed. That's all I'll say. Nice throw here down to the 30 as Barnes turns a drive that could have been near disaster around. Now this one thrown for about 9 yards, but it'll be short of a first down, and Utah State punts once again. So Malachi Nelson, 3rd and 6. Throwing this one out and misses Azinwa. On the corner, he's wide open. That's a tough throw to make, but still, you got to make that one if you want to be a championship contender there, sir. Barnes now really mobile, and he's making it look easy outside the pocket. 3rd and 3 at midfield, Utah State. Barnes delivers this one as he's hit from the blind side, and down to the 30-yard line the tight end goes. Utah State driving here with 5 minutes left in the 3rd. Barnes dropping back. He starts the run, and he will be sacked. That is Elijah Baldwin off the edge with the contain. Now 3rd and 10. Barnes delivers this one over the middle. That's a first down to the 14-yard line. We just can't get these stops on 3rd down very often. Barnes over the middle again. This one caught, but stopped short of a first down. Now 4th and 1. They're going for it. Utah State to the end zone. Touchdown. And Utah State takes the lead for the first time this game. So now the Miners have to answer. 1:30 left in this quarter. Handoff up the middle. Hashan Wilson, first down. And that's pretty good stuff there. As we go back into this hurry up that we like to run. Nelson throwing this one out. That's caught. Jaden Smith, and he stays on his feet, actually. And he'll pick up the first down to the 49-yard line. So Malachi Nelson just taking what the defense gives him and letting his receivers make plays. Hashan Wilson cuts this one back upfield. And he is hurt on the play, but he looks fine if he's celebrating there, down to the 40. Maybe he'll take just a short breather. Nelson now finding the backup running back Emery out of the backfield on the wheel route. Nobody on him, and that is 250 yards for Malachi Nelson. 3rd and 14 now. Nelson dropping back, throwing this one out. Azinwa cannot hang on to it. And the Miners will have to kick their first field goal of the game. And it is good. So the UTEP Miners tie this thing up at 17. Now the defense has to come in and make some more plays. They've been pretty good all game, I have to say. Barnes on the move, a dart throw downfield. And Utah State back in UTEP territory once again at the 32. 3rd and 4. Barnes, there's a flag on the play. Barnes throwing this one, and I guess that did get across the line of scrimmage. He was outside of the tackle box there. But we will take the field goal Utah State would end up kicking. Now Nelson hit on this throw, and it gets thrown into the dirt then. 3rd and 12. Nelson, got to keep this drive alive. Throws this one up, one-on-one. Cam Thomas cannot come up with it. Great defense there from Utah State. Got our best wide receiver in a one-on-one down the field and just couldn't make it happen. Now Barnes keeper up the middle of the field, and Utah State's looking to tack on some more points and pad their lead with 9 minutes left in this game. Barnes keeper outside, and he's brought down this time. Really nice contained by Neil Campbell, the cornerback. Now 3rd and 4. Barnes, a lot of time in the pocket, and he'll throw this one short of a first down, but it actually does. The forward progress nets them the sticks. So 1st and 10, under 7 now. Handoff up the middle. And unfortunately, yet another 8-yard run as we have been getting gashed in the run game, it feels like. Barnes dropping back, throwing this one wide open over the middle of the field. And down to the 2-yard line, Utah State looking to go up 2 scores. 1st and goal. And it's a keeper. Read easily by Udoka Ezeani. And Barnes loses 4. Now 2nd and goal at the 5. Barnes throwing this one, almost intercepted. Jaden Wilson, the Sam linebacker, was all over it, just can't make the play. Now play action. Barnes flushed out of the pocket, throws this one and not connecting with his receiver there. And they have to settle for 3. So window left open for UTEP. Can they even this game up and then take the lead? Smith running this one down to the 20-yard line. Out comes Nelson to lead this hero drive. Throwing this one underneath for Odom, and that's about a 4-yard gain. Now 3rd and 6, and we're already backs against the wall. Nelson over the middle finds Odom once again. And Kenny Odom gets down to about the 38-yard line. 1st and 10. Nelson dropping back, and he finds Smith this time. Jaden Smith across midfield down to the 44. And he's up to 72 yards on the day with 10 catches. Then Nelson throwing the screen pass out to Emery, as we might not see Hashan Wilson too much more in this game, as a matter of fact. And Nelson eclipses 300 yards on the day, but it won't mean much if we don't win the game now. Nelson dropping back, 2nd and 10, finds Cam Thomas down to the 17-yard line. 3rd and 2. Handoff up the middle, Emery, and Emery cannot get a first down. It's 4th and inches, and this is for the game. Nelson under center, keeper, and he's got it. And now we are going under 1 minute here. Down to 1:59 now. Throwing this one over the middle. Cam Thomas down to the 5-yard line. 3rd and 2 once again. And this drive's taking a lot of time. We're not going to have another chance at this. Handoff up the middle. Taylor down to the 3-yard line. And it's 2nd and goal. Nelson dropping back, throwing this one out. Caught. Taylor upended at the 1. We cannot score it. And now we have 2 chances with 10 seconds left. Handoff up the middle. Emery, he's in! The Miners go. Well, they don't go up yet. I still have to kick with this new meter. And the extra point is up, and it is good. The Miners take a 1-point lead with 8 seconds left. Do you remember the first win of the Olympia Dynasty? I'll give you a hint. It was Utah State. Ball is thrown. It's out of bounds anyway, and the Miners win their first game of the 2025 season here in the UTEP College Football 26 Dynasty. Malachi Nelson, your player of the game, well deserved. 65% completion percentage, 300 yards. He looked phenomenal out there, and I don't know if we're going to be able to retain a talent like that. But we'll enjoy it the year we have it. Cam Smith, Kenny Odom, Cam Thomas, Jaden Smith, Kenny Odom, Malachi Nelson, Hashan Wilson. This is a dynamic offense, and it showed today. 370 yards of offense. Now, the rushing game needs to be better, but with our line, I just don't know if we can do that. Yards per pass weren't higher either, but hey, 55% third down completion percentage. Really good stuff in the red zone here. I don't know what 133% means. And no turnovers. We won the turnover battle. You really can't ask for a better day from this offense, I don't think. Defense? I thought we looked pretty darn good. This defense is not good on the defensive line, and somehow we still held them to 23 points. Now, one thing I thought was really concerning was the running game on defense, especially the quarterback running the ball. I think mobile quarterbacks are going to be a big issue for us. But hey, I think this team handled it well. We spread the ball around 90 yards, 60 yards, and 72 yards with 1 touchdown to Jaden Smith in the air. Really impressive stuff here. And I had a lot of fun with this game. It reminded me that I do enjoy the college football game a bit. Obviously, I like Madden when it comes to the actual franchise dynamic, but this was fun to play. And thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I hope you enjoy this series because I'm going to have more coming to you soon. I'll see you next time. Have a good day.